Good evening. I'd like to call to order the City Council meeting of April 21st, 2026. Clerk, please call the roll.
Deputy Mayor Bushnell.
Present.
Councilmember Diaz. Here. Councilmember Hines. Here. Councilmember Palmer. Here. Councilmember Rumba.
Here.
Councilmember Sidalge.
Here.
Councilmember Scott.
Here.
Councilmember Walker.
Here.
Mayor Ibsen.
Here. Please join me in listening to the land acknowledgement and flag salute led by Councilmember Diaz, followed by a moment of silence.
We gratefully honor and acknowledge that we rest on the traditional lands of the Puyallup people, where they make their home and speak their Lushootseed language. Please stand for the flag salute and remain standing for a moment of silence.
Are there any modifications to the agenda tonight? Seeing none, we're going to move on to the consent agenda.
I move to adopt the consent agenda, including resolution number 41892.
Second. Moved and seconded. Are there any questions, comments, or corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Consent agenda is declared adopted. We have two ceremonials tonight. For the Fair Housing Month proclamation, I'd like to invite Adria Buchanan, Executive Director of the Fair Housing Center of Washington, and members from the Tacoma Pierce County Association of Realtors to the podium as I read the proclamation. Okay. Whereas on April 11th, 1968, the Fair Housing Act was enacted into law, and today affirms the right to housing free from discrimination based on aspects like race, color, religion, sex, disability, familial status, national origin, sexual orientation, or gender identity. And whereas where people live has a direct impact on the quality of their health, education, and access to economic opportunities, and discriminatory housing practices create racial and economic segregation in communities that can lead to disparate outcomes in overall quality of life. And whereas the City of Tacoma believes that access to fair housing laws have made our communities stronger and more vibrant, and is committed to programs that help educate the public about the right to equal housing. And whereas we are committed to promoting housing choices and fostering inclusive communities free from housing discrimination, and to partnering with housing industry organizations to further fair housing causes. Now therefore, I, Anders Ibsen, Mayor of the City of Tacoma, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Fair Housing Month in the City of Tacoma, and recognize the 58th anniversary of the Federal Fair Housing Act, and thank the many people and organizations in our communities who have opened the doors of housing opportunity to all. Please say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and members of City Council, for this proclamation. My name is Adria Buchanan. I've served as the Executive Director of the Fair Housing Center of Washington for the last 7 years. Our agency serves 23 counties, providing training, enforcement, and advocacy to limit unlawful housing discrimination and promote inclusive communities. At a time when civil rights are under attack, we have found ourselves busier than ever, helping clients navigate a plethora of housing challenges. So far this year in 2026, we've seen a 30% increase in the number of calls we've received. As municipalities work to bring more housing units online, we must stress that not much will change who is living on the street if the same discriminatory practices exist. We must require fair housing education for property management companies taking over new developments, for HOA and COA board members, for city councils, and for planning commissions and others who are making important decisions about housing. Our call volume is too high, and the situations that we hear about on a daily basis are too dire for us to let up now. The federal government's latest budget proposal eliminates funding for the work that we do, but we know our work is essential, as the majority of fair housing complaints received throughout Western Washington are processed by our agency alone. And our clients are overwhelmingly older folks with disabilities. We are fighting discrimination and fighting to exist. And so my ask of you today is to continue to do your part to create a culture of compliance and inclusivity. We urge you to review how the City of Tacoma is building capacity to prevent discriminatory practice before it starts, and we're here to help. So I want to thank you for your work, and to our other partners here today for creating more housing opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Buchanan. Are there any other comments from the council? Seeing none, please come forward and accept the proclamation, and please join me in giving a round of applause.
That's perfect. All right, everybody, smile. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
All right, our second proclamation is proclaiming April 2026 as Occupational Health Month. For the Occupational Health Month proclamation, I'd like to invite representatives of the Occupational Therapy Education Program from the University of Puget Sound and Bates Technical College. Elizabeth Sherman Thomas, Andrew Min, Leah Thompson, Kayleen Purcell, Aurora Jeffrey, Maya Chavez to the podium as I read the proclamation. Whereas the American Occupational Therapy Association has declared the month of April as Occupational Therapy Month, and whereas the profession of occupational therapy makes valuable contributions in helping people live life to the fullest after an injury or illness, and whereas the services of occupational therapy are available to residents of Tacoma through hospitals, home health agencies, schools, clinics, and nursing homes, and whereas the health and productivity of our residents depend upon the effective use of healthcare resources, including the important services of occupational therapists and occupational therapy assistants, now therefore, I, Anders Ibsen, Mayor of the City of Tacoma, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Occupational Therapy Month, and call upon all residents to recognize the achievements and contributions of these valued health professionals. Please say a few words.
Thank you so much, Mayor Ibsen. My name is Elizabeth Sherman Thomas. I'm a clinical assistant professor at the University of Puget Sound, and I'm here with faculty from the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program at Bates Technical College and 3 graduate occupational therapy students from UPS. We're really thrilled to be here to accept the proclamation to celebrate Occupational Therapy Month. We are strong advocates for the disability community, for individuals living in the community who are pursuing activities meaningful to them. It's very important to us to be able to serve people without limits, to be able to get back to the things that are really meaningful to them after they've had an illness or an injury. And so we really just, again, appreciate the city recognizing the month and allowing us the opportunity to be here to represent our health profession. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Okay, are there any council comments? I will see none. Well, thank you so much for all the great work you do. Please join me in a round of applause, and please come forward to accept the proclamation. Congratulations.
Everybody, this way. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
All right, moving on to public comment. On tonight's agenda, there are 2 opportunities for people to comment. Under public comment, you can speak about motions, resolutions, and ordinances on tonight's agenda. Under the public hearing, you can speak about the 2026 Annual Action Plan. These forums are intended to give speakers the opportunity to share their viewpoints and feedback with the City Council to aid in our decision-making, and is not meant to be a back-and-forth dialogue. Your remarks should be directed to the City Council and not at individual staff members. If you want to speak under the public comment period, press the raise hand button near the bottom of your Zoom window, or *9 on your phone now so we can see the number of people wishing to testify this evening. If you are speaking in person, please sign up at the back of the room if you have not done so already. Your name or the last 4 digits of your phone number will be called out when it is your turn to speak. Clerk, please read.
This is the time set aside for public comment. Speakers are asked to identify the specific legislation they wish to address.
All right, I'd like to remind everyone to please keep your comments respectful, relevant, focused, and on topic. We strive to provide a comment period where people can feel respected while sharing a wide variety of viewpoints and acknowledge that we may hear comments that conflict with our values. To ensure that all speakers can express their First Amendment constitutional rights, we ask that you refrain from clapping, cheering, booing, or otherwise being disruptive. You will have 90 seconds to make your remarks. Please be mindful of the time frame. As always, you are not required to use all of your time to make your point. If you cannot remain on topic, you'll be given 2 warnings. If you remain off topic, we'll have to move on and we'll end your time. And with that, we have no in-person speakers who've lined up. We have 2 people who've lined up virtually. Tyler Daniels, followed by an unknown speaker.
Hello. I would like to speak about the motions on the ballot as well as what was discussed for the Fair Housing Month. With respect to the individuals who supported this motion in terms of having an emphasis on not having discriminatory housing practices, when what I struggle with the most is that the building of new housing is itself discriminatory based on the policies, the procedures, the building patterns and standards, and the regulations themselves that have been implemented to support a false housing shortage in order to simply build units in the highest number that is possible to meet financial obligations to receive funding federally. And it is placing our most vulnerable individuals who are looking for housing now, young people, people in transition, people moving to Tacoma, who are now paying the highest price to live in a unit that is extremely toxic with the materials that are built and the energy of which it is built on, such as Point Reston. I thank you, Council, for listening to this message.
Thank you. Our next speaker has a phone number ending in 9772. Can you please identify which agenda item you're speaking to? Are you there?
Hello. Hello, I am here, and I'm not sure I'm calling in at the right time to address council members in regards to the ordinance PMC 1.95 and the 1.100 rental housing and landlord fairness code.
Oh,
I don't know if this is an appropriate.
Sure, ma'am, that is not on tonight's agenda. However, you're absolutely welcome to email the City Council if you'd like to either meet with us or just share your thoughts, or you can engage us at the next community forum, which is the second Tuesday of next month.
Second Tuesday of next month. Okay, I think I'll go ahead and I will make a note on my calendar to join you all at your meeting on the second Tuesday of each month. And I will also send email communications to each of the council members and would appreciate a return telephone call.
Okay, thanks for calling in. All right. With that, we have no further speakers who are signed in, so we're going to close public comment and move on to the next portion of our agenda. We have a motion before us in our regular agenda for consideration.
I move to authorize, in accordance with Article 4, Section 4.18 of the Tacoma City Charter, the Public Utility Board has completed and approved an annual performance review of the Director of Utilities, Jackie Flowers, and has reconfirmed the appointment of Jackie Flowers as the Director of Utilities for a 2-year period commencing May 3rd, 2026, subject to reconfirmation by the City Council. Accordingly, the City Council reconfirms Jackie Flowers as the Director of Utilities for a 2-year appointment effective as of May 3rd, 2026.
Second. Moved and seconded. Are there any council questions or comments? Deputy Mayor, would you like to speak to your motion?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm really happy to be able to bring this motion forward. Our utility director of many years, Director Flowers, is graciously wants to continue to serve in this role, and she's done a phenomenal job. We just had an opportunity to go through her annual review. Really glowing remarks, exceeds expectations. And I just want to say, from myself and the rest of the community. Really appreciate the level of engagement that you've had, not just with our residents of our city, but also with the employees that serve under you. I've heard nothing but great things, as well as a really steadfast commitment to making sure that people's voices are heard, and that safety and customer service and all the different utilities that are under your purview are equally recognized and supported, and just really appreciate all the work. And I expect that you'll continue to do great work with this reconfirmation. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. This forum is certainly open for other council comments if anyone would wish to do so. All right, well, seeing no additional council comments, I would also like to echo the Deputy Mayor's sentiment. I was proud to be on the council that actually first hired or confirmed the TPU hire of Director Flowers. It was one of my proudest votes. Over the years, the community, city employees, everyone involved with the utility have had nothing but glowing things to say about the culture that Director Flowers has helped build at TPU. I think there are a lot of great ideas general government can learn as well, and just our cross-pollination of ideas. And it takes a village, but it certainly starts with trust. And we've seen nothing but good things in that department, along with just good, rigorous management of the utility. So with that, I am very pleased to vote on the reconfirmation and look forward to many more years of working with Director Flowers. So with that, we have the motion in front of us. All those in favor of reappointing Director Flowers, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Congratulations. Round of applause, please. All right. Next, we have other appointments. Congratulations, Director. Item number 9. Clerk, please read.
Resolution 41893, a resolution appointing and reappointing individuals to the Climate and Sustainability Commission.
I move to adopt resolution number 41893.
Second. Moved and seconded. I'd like to call on Chair Walker.
Thank you, Mayor. At the March 25th, 2026 Infrastructure Planning and Sustainability Committee meeting, the committee conducted interviews and recommended the appointment and reappointment of the following individuals to the Climate and Sustainability Commission: Danielle Purcell, Chelsea Brown, Justine Jadala, Michael Chang, Hope Springer, Laura Swanzarek, and Casey Twiggs.
All right. Thank you very much, Chair. Are there any council comments? Are any members of the commission here in the room with us? If so, please stand. All right. Well, thank you to those who've stepped forward all the same. Seeing no council comments, all those in favor of adopting resolution number 41893 to appoint these individuals, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Resolution is declared adopted. Thank you for your service, all of you. Moving on to resolution, item number 10. This item will have a PowerPoint presentation. Clerk, please read.
Resolution 41894, a resolution superseding and replacing resolution number 41890 and transmitting a ballot measure to Pierce County Auditor to be placed on the ballot for the primary election on Tuesday, August 4th, 2026, which reads, City of Tacoma Proposition 1, Funding Transportation Safety Improvements. The Tacoma City Council adopted Connect Tacoma Safe Streets and Sidewalks Resolution Number 41894 concerning increases in utility and property taxes for street improvements. This measure funds safe streets, school routes, pothole repairs, paving, sidewalks, maintenance, traffic safety, neighborhood connections by levying an additional 1.5% utility tax on natural gas, electric, phone utilities for 10 years beginning in 2027. Increasing the regular property tax levy for 10 years by 20 cents per $1,000 to a maximum rate of $1.95 per 1,000 assessed value for 2027 collections, using the 2027 levy amount to calculate subsequent levies through 2036, and qualified seniors and others are exempt.
Is there a motion?
I move to adopt resolution number 41894. Second.
Thank you. I'd like to call on the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Ibsen, Deputy Mayor, members of council. We have two adjustments here for your proposal here. Last week, Public Works presented, our Public Works Director, and the council approved Connect Tacoma Safe Streets and Sidewalks Levy, resolution number 41890. This new resolution, resolution 41894, makes two changes to the proposed measure. The first change dedicates revenues to 3 investment themes outlined last Tuesday by our Public Works team. After the presentation last week, Councilmember Hines asked our team how they plan to ensure revenues collected were used consistent with what has been outlined in these 3 investment themes. After conferring with the department, Although this can be done administratively, we agreed adding the language in the resolution would provide more accountability and transparency. Resolution 41894 requires revenues be used to support 3 investment themes: 26% for better neighborhood streets, focused primarily on maintenance, street paving, faster pothole repairs, greenways, sidewalk improvements, and traffic calming measures, for a total of $85 million, $75 million from the levy, and $10 million from partnerships. 50% for Safer Streets for Everyone, focused primarily on improved street surfaces, supporting freight and economic development, faster pothole repairs, safety enhancements, and expanded transportation connections, for a total of $159 million, $85 million of which would be from the levy, $74 million from partnerships. 24% for improved connections. This is the third and last investment theme, focused primarily on safe routes to schools, sidewalk repairs, new sidewalk links, ADA accessibility upgrades, new and improved trails, greenways, safety improvements, traffic calming, and multimodal enhancements, walking, biking, rolling transit, for a total of $76 million, of which $40 million would be from the levy, $36 million from partnerships. The new levy would raise a total of $200 million, as was conferred by the team, by increasing the gross earnings tax on utilities by 1.5% and through a property tax increase of 20 cents per $1,000 of assessed value. We anticipate raising another $90 million in grants and $30 million in partnership funds, for a total of $320 million. Next slide, please. The second change with this resolution is an adjustment to the maximum levy rate. This update does not change the proposed property tax increase of 20 cents per $1,000 of assessed property value. It adjusts the maximum levy rate ceiling from $1.78 to $1.95 per $1,000 of assessed value for collection in 2027 to account for potential changes in future assessed property values. Resolution 41894 will transmit the Connect Tacoma proposition to the Pierce County Auditor to be placed on the ballot for August 4th, 2026 on the primary election ballot. With that, Mayor Ibsen, I stand ready for any questions.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions from the Council? Councilmember Sadalgi.
Hi, City Manager. I just want to reiterate and just kind of summarize the changes for the public. The first change is really just to be a little more clear based on the presentation we were given in study session last year on the different buckets and the amounts, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the second one is literally just a Scribner's error where we just had the wrong number written, but nothing is changing in terms of what we're asking for the levy rate. Is just adjusting technically something we just
correct, sir.
wrote the wrong number.
This change is a technical adjustment driven by the state's timeline for ballot measures and changes to future assessed values. We do not anticipate collecting ever more than 20 cents. If we kept the resolution as is, it could have inadvertently had us collect less taxes as assessed values go up.
Yeah, because we should have added the 20 cents to the $1.75 that we listed last week in the actual thing. Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the clarification, both of you. Seeing no further council comments or questions, this is basically just a corrective resolution. Thank you to everyone who spent the time to bring this forward. All those in favor of adopting resolution number 41894, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Resolution is declared adopted. Item number 11 for final reading of ordinances. Clerk, please read.
Ordinance 29103, an ordinance amending Chapter 1.12 of the Municipal Code relating to the compensation plan to implement rates of pay and compensation for employees represented by IBEW Local 483 Clerical Unit and the Teamsters Local Union Number 117 Tacoma Venues and Events Unit.
This item was presented last week. Are there any additional council questions or comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Deputy Mayor Bushnell?
Aye.
Councilmember Diaz? Aye. Councilmember Hines?
Aye.
Councilmember Palmer?
Aye.
Councilmember Rumba?
Aye.
Councilmember Sadalge?
Aye.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Councilmember Walker?
Aye.
Mayor Ibsen?
Aye. The ordinance is declared passed. Moving on to public hearings and appeals. Item number 12, this item will have a PowerPoint presentation. Clerk, please read.
This is the date set for a hearing by the Council on the 2026 Annual Action Plan for Housing, Community, and Economic Development and Public Services.
I'd like to call on Felicia Medlin to begin the presentation. Welcome.
Okay, perfect. Good afternoon or good evening, Mayor Ibsen, Deputy Mayor, and City Council, and any members of the public that are listening in tonight, because this presentation is really for you. So I'm going to dive right in. This is our 2026 annual action plan. So this public hearing is really an opportunity to give the public an opportunity to weigh in or provide any comments on our draft plan, which has been available since early April for public comment and review in libraries and online. So our 2026 allocations are for 3 federal programs: the Community Development Block Grant, the Emergency Solutions Grant, or ESG, and the Home Investment Partnership Program. And so we have a total of just about $3.7 million that we are seeking comment on, and I'll go through the allocation plan that we have in place for these funds. All of these programs serve 80% AMI and below, and then there will also be some resulting agreements as it related to potential action that's going to be taken in a few weeks by the City Council. So for 2026, the CDBG allocation is $2.4 million, and it's separated into 4 buckets. We have economic development, housing assistance programs, public services, and then a 20% set aside for administration that's used to implement the programs and pay for staffing. So I know there's a lot going on this slide, but this really lays out the public services funding, and so there's going to be a focus on shelter programs, and that's going to utilize a total of $368,000. And then the remaining funds are split between housing programs and economic development programs. So there's a $300,000 set aside for microenterprise business technical assistance, and we have 2 providers that were successful during our notice of funding availability that was conducted January through February, and so those 2 are indicated here. That's the Tacoma Pierce County Chambers SpaceWorks program and Business Impact Northwest for bookkeeping services. And then we have 2 single-family home repair programs. One of them is provided by Rebuilding Together South Sound, who is a community partner that we've been working with for several years now. And then the City of Tacoma single-family rehab program, which we implement in-house with City of Tacoma staff administering those programs. For the ESG allocation, so it's also split into 3 buckets. One of them is for external contracts, one for HMIS or Homeless Management Information Systems operations, and then they have an administrative set aside as well. The emphasis for this funding is going to be on shelter programs again, and also rapid rehousing for a total contracted amount of $187,000. And then the rest of that will be used internally to the city for administration functions. And then finally, the home grant. So we have a little over $1 million for this program, and it's split into 3 buckets. One is for administration. That's a common theme across all 3 grants. The City of Tacoma housing programs, so programs we administer here at the city. And then we have a 23% that's set aside for the City of Lakewood that participates as part of our home consortium. And so we'll have a little over, well, the full amount will ultimately be utilized for housing programs. So we have $824,000 that will stay with the City of Tacoma for administration and programming and contracts. And then we have $251,000 that we will contract with the City of Lakewood on for them to administer housing programs within their jurisdiction. Just to walk you through how we got here, so April 1st, we started our public comment period. That comment period will run through May 1st, so there's still an opportunity for any members of the public that want to submit any written comment to us if they don't provide verbal or oral comment here at this meeting during the hearing time. And then the 21st, that's this evening, which is the public hearing date. And then on May 5th, we will be coming before the City Council for final action to adopt our plan and submit it to HUD. And then we have a submission deadline for this allocation plan of May 15th, at which we will submit it to HUD on or before that date to meet our compliance requirements. And that concludes my presentation, and I will turn it back over to the mayor.
Thank you so much, Ms. Medlin. Are there any council questions or comments? Seeing none, are there any members of the public who wish to comment?
Nope. No, I think we have officially open it up.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask attendees, if you want to speak under the public hearing regarding 2026's annual action plan, please press the raise hand button near the bottom of your Zoom window or *9 on your phone now so we can see the number of people wishing to testify this evening. You will have 90 seconds to make your remarks for the public hearing. Please be mindful of the time frame. As always, you are not required to use all of your time to make your point. So with that, we just have one person signed in virtually, and that is Tyler Daniels.
Hello. I would like to make a comment about the oversight of the person or the people or the group of individuals performing the work for the housing itself. Having experienced the condition of the housing as a collective of the entirety of Tacoma, there are some major concerns that arise when our structures are not taken care of or given proper maintenance, just as the roads reflect the lack of constant maintenance over the years, where funding has been cut out of the budget to be reallocated to other resources in times of economic downturn. This is just like that. I would want some sort of confirmation that there's an oversight of the work that's been done for the individuals who are living in these project recipients of this funding in the past, as well as going forward in the future, to make sure there are things like no mold in their environment, their HVAC has been cleaned after construction, that the quality of the materials are being tested for non-toxicity. We live in a Superfund site, and if there's any sort of past use of toxic materials, just as the Asarco plant paneling has been found in our homes in the hilltop. And this is something that I would want you all to be aware of.
Thank you.
The health and safety of the public. And
thank you for your comments, Tyler. All right, with that, we have no other speakers signed in, so we're going to close public comment in the public hearing. Thank you for your testimony. Moving on to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Seeing none, reports by the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Ibsen, Deputy Mayor, members of council. Just two reports for you. First, just as from today's study session, there was a question during today's study session on outreach of our community forum and our council meetings. I just wanted to alert, so we're always looking for ways to take direction from the council as to how we increase our reach, and look forward to the council's robust continued conversations on the topic of how we have community forums. I just wanted to state for the public that our media communication staff continually shares our community forums across all our social media, our city council meetings, as well as a banner on all of our social media platforms, as well as with a link to the community forum evenings, the city council meetings. As the council knows, I just wanted to share that with the public for you all. And then secondly, last week, our information technology director, Daniel Key, was honored as a finalist for a second Orby Award. So this is the second year to be a finalist. The Orby Awards is a premier technology executive recognition program throughout the nation, including Seattle. This honors, futurists, technologists, and who have demonstrated excellence in technology leadership. We are lucky to have Director Key with us here at the city as a key leader in our organization, in the department, as well as in our region. So just wanted to recognize his recognition as a finalist for that award for a second year in a row. So with that, that concludes my report to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Moving on to comments and committee reports of the City Council, I would like to call on Chair Rumbaugh from the Community Vitality Safety Committee.
Thank you. The CVS committee has convened once since the last report. The committee met on March 26th with an agenda featuring a review of the 2026 Annual Action Plan for Housing and Urban Development Grant Programs. At this meeting, CVS also interviewed interested parties to fill seats on the Human Services Commission. The April 9th meeting was canceled, and our next meeting is this Thursday, April 23rd. The committee plans to interview interested parties to fill seats on the Commission on Immigrant and Refugee Affairs and receive informational briefings on the Crystal Judson Family Justice Center and on therapeutic courts and support services, the therapeutic approach model. The meeting will occur in room 243 of the Tacoma Municipal Building. Virtual attendance options will be available for the public. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember. Are there any final council comments? Councilmember Sadalge.
Hi, Mayor. I actually just wanted to thank fellow council member Sarah Rumba, Deputy Mayor Bushnell, and you, Mayor Ibsen, on coming out last Saturday to Route 7 to do a community cleanup where we had actually over 30 people participating and helping in cleaning up parts of the area around Route 7 and South 38th Street, or East 38th Street at that point. I forget. You know, this was an effort by local neighbors who really wanted to work with WashDOT. WashDOT was wonderful in helping us, you know, do this event by putting out cones and sending out employees to allow us to clean up a part of Tacoma that's, you know, been complained about a lot. I also want to remind people that this Saturday is Litter Free 253. I myself, I'm going to try to hit the 2 spots, one in Councilmember Rumba's district at the Cliff House at 9 a.m. On Saturday, and then later at Beware Coffee on McKinley Hill, if I can make it in time at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you so much to you, ENACT, and all the other community groups who assisted. It was a great event. More to come. Any other council comments? All right, well, seeing as there are no further council comments, I'd welcome a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. We are adjourned. Good night, everyone.